It makes your breath smell. It makes your food absolutely delicious. You've either used it for medical purposes or for cooking purposes. Either way, you have used it to make your food yummy or to help your health. What I'm talking about is the absolutely amazing garlic. That's right. I'm talking about garlic, and garlic has been used for thousands of years to improve our health, right? So I wanted to find out the history of garlic, how it affects our health, and then how you can incorporate it every single day in your life. Did you know that garlic has been studied for about 6,000 peer-reviewed studies to show its beneficial effect on our health? That's exactly why I wanted to find out more about it. So let's get into it. It's Mondays with Mihaela. That's right, me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I absolutely love, and appreciate your support. For any of you who don't know me, I'm a qualified naturopath, and I'm absolutely passionate about all things health, business, and overall success. And I run the Natural Health Podcast, and it has different segments. And this is the Monday segment of the Natural Health Podcast, where I provide you with simple, savvy, and sustainable health hacks to optimize your health. Let's get into it. Let's get into those simple, savvy, sustainable health hacks all about garlic. That's what I want to be talking about today. Garlic. After this, you're going to have garlic breath, and you know what? You're not going to mind because it's for your health. So I thought I'll first start off with the history about garlic. I absolutely love history. I like to find out the herbs, the spices, the supplements that I'm using. I like to find out the history, where it all started, and then where it is now, because it's usually not that different. And sometimes we even find a little bit more about it. So to start off, also, I've actually grown some garlic in my backyard. Keep an eye out on my Instagram. I might show you actually if it's succeeded or not. It's been I put it in there about 4 months ago. So in about 2 months, it should be ready. I'm excited. I'm pumped because it's the first time I've ever grown garlic, because I know its health benefits. And after this podcast, you're going to also. Let's start off with the history about garlic, right? So garlic comes from two words, one gar, meaning spear, and the other one lac, meaning plant. Because of the way it looks, I believe they called it a spear plant. Its Latin name is Allium stavium. So if you ever see that in any supplements or anything that you're buying, it may contain garlic. So did you know? So when you go to the shops, right, you only see either the white garlic, the really white garlic, or you see the white garlic with a little bit of, a tinge of yellow. Sorry, not yellow. Sometimes yellow, but sometimes mainly pinkish, reddish, and that's it. You don't see 400 different types of garlics, because that is exactly how many different species of garlic there are. I had absolutely no idea. 450. Imagine just going to a garlic store and just being like, which one am I going to choose? That's huge. That's a huge variety we have right there. So it's also been cultivated for about 4,000 years. So we've used it a number of years on Earth. That's what we've used it for, to help us either with our food or medicine, which we're going to go into detail. So the garlic, to give you a bit of an explanation of how it grows, so it actually grows underneath the soil. Bulbs get created, and this green shoot shoots out from the top, and it's the bulbs at the bottom. Usually each garlic has about 20 little bulbs that they have. They're called cloves. About 20 of them each one has, and that's what you use. So that's what I'm excited about my little backyard, see how that's going. But I wanted to get into the history and how garlic was used in history. Where to start, but of course to start off with the absolutely great Hippocrates, the Greek physician that was also known as the father of Western medicine. So he prescribed garlic for a wide range of conditions and illnesses. He promoted the use of garlic for treating respiratory problems, parasites, poor digestion, and fatigue. So most of us have fatigue, poor digestion, right? Or even some respiratory issues. Garlic, yeah? And then the leading physician in the 16th century, known as Pietro Mattiali of Siena, prescribed garlic for digestive disorders, infestation of worms, and renal disorders, as well as helping mothers during difficult childbirth. So similar to Hippocrates in regards to the gut. In England, garlic was used for toothache, constipation, drowsiness, and also the plague. So it's similar to Hippocrates in regards to respiratory condition, in regards to things like that, right? The ancient Chinese, they have so much knowledge, these guys, absolutely, like so much knowledge, right? So the ancient Chinese, garlic was prescribed to aid respiratory issues and digestion, most importantly, diarrhea and worm infestation. So what does that kind of tell us? That's kind of similar to Hippocrates again. So and then I'm going to India. So we've traveled from Greece to England to China, and now we're in India, right? In India, the leading Indian ancient medical text, Chakra Shamita, recommended garlic for the treatment of heart disease and arthritis over centuries. The ancient Indian medical textbook, Bowel, was also used. Garlic was used for fatigue, parasites disease, and digestive disorders. So again, exactly the same thing, right? So garlic has been long-term recognized as a wonderful health aid from before writer Bram Stoker introduced the concept of vampires. So this is interesting, right? So this guy introduced vampires, which are these beasts that suck on blood, right? So he used it as a protective agent against Draculas, against vampires. Crazy, right? Think about it. The first ancient civilization that truly incorporated garlic into their diet was Egypt, and this was in the 3rd millennium BC. Garlic was not only by novelty but also in medicine. Religious rituals were given to slaves as a power source of strength. So all those slaves that had to build all those pyramids, what did they get? They got garlic to give them the strength. What did Hippocrates say garlic was used for? Fatigue. It's all kind of making sense, isn't it? So, but on the other side, there's also some people that are really, really scared of garlic. I find this really interesting. And they actually have a phobia of garlic, and it's called allium phobia, right? Crazy. I love it. So, and then also the other thing that I found interesting, I'm giving you some interesting facts about garlic, not just the history of it, is the fact that in ancient Greece, the bride didn't carry like a flower bouquet. They actually carried garlic. But not only garlic, other herbs also. There's like a herb bouquet. How beautiful is that? That's beautiful. To me, that's like, oh my gosh, how beautiful. I'll do that. I'll carry little herbs and garlic with me. It might push everyone away because of the smell, but hey. So at around 46 billion pounds a year, China leads the world in terms of garlic production. So that's 2/3 of the production of garlic is actually made in China. So another thing is also there are some Buddhist traditions in which garlic is thought to be a stimulant of aggressive behavior and sexual desire, and that's why garlic is actually forbidden in these religions. So consumption of 5 other pungent spices also forbidden, so not just garlic, which is very interesting. Another one that I found interesting, because when we go to history, we have to also look at religion, right? So Muslims are not allowed to go to a mosque right after eating garlic. This law is based on several so this law is based on that if you eat garlic, you're not allowed to enter the mosque. Yeah, so medical books from 1660s described it as an excellent cure for the plague and smallpox. On a more serious note, famous chemist and microbiologist proved in 1858 that garlic could kill germs, greatly reducing the possibility of wound infection because of the finding garlic was used extensively as an antiseptic and a cure during both world wars. There you go. How crazy is that? The history of garlic is just mind-blowing. I love history. I love it. So we're going to talk about how garlic affects your health. So I've spoken about back in the days traditionally what they use garlic for, but let's look at now. What does the science say about garlic? Let's get into it. So garlic has attracted particular attention to modern medicine because of its widespread health use around the world and the cherished belief that it helps in maintaining good health, warding off illness, and providing energy, right? Providing that wellness, right? And these biological responses have been largely contributed to 6 different effects, and these are: 1, the reduction of risk factors for cardiovascular disease and cancer, stimulation of the immune system, enhancing detox functions of foreign compounds. Number 4, hepatoprotective, so liver protective. Number 5, antibacterial effect, which is huge. And number 6, antioxidant effect. So that can all be put down to that. But I thought, let's look at specific areas in our body or specific diseases and how it helps in that. But just saying those things that I did just say just shows to us that garlic is just absolutely amazing. I love it, right? Okay, so the first one is cardiovascular. What do most people pass away from? Unfortunately, cardiovascular heart disease issues are absolutely huge, not just in Australia, but America, all around the world. Heart disease, unfortunately, is a huge issue that needs to be addressed. Garlic may be the answer, right? Epidemiological studies show an inverse correlation between garlic consumption and reduced risk of cardiovascular disease. The wealth of scientific literature supports the proposal that garlic consumptions have significant cardioprotective effects, which include both animal and human studies. So they looked at both animals and human studies, right? So what they're saying here is the more garlic intake you have, the more garlic you have, the less chance of a cardiovascular disease progression you may have. That's huge, right? But, like in this study, you need to look at how you're taking the garlic, how much garlic, what type of garlic, where it's grown, because there's 450 species, right? You can't just be like, oh, I'm just going to take this garlic and it should be all good. You need to figure out what garlic was used in that study. Next one is blood pressure. Who do you know that has blood pressure issues? I'm pretty sure you know at least one person who has blood pressure issues. Garlic may be the answer. Hypertension or chronically elevated blood pressure is seen as about 140/90. This can be argued in a number of textbooks, but we'll keep it as that, as it's been described by medical books. So 140/90. So it's a condition. So this condition, if you have hypertension, you have a more chance of getting cardiovascular disease, right? Hypertension is among the most important risk factor for cardiovascular disease. So if we lower your blood pressure, your hypertension, we have a chance of lowering your heart disease, cardiovascular disease, right? So hypertension actually affects about 1 billion people worldwide. That's right. That's about 30% of adults in the Western countries. That is a lot of people that high blood pressure affects. And an estimate of 70% heart attacks, strokes, and chronic heart failures are attributed to hypertension. That are high numbers. So if there's any chance that we can reduce hypertension, therefore we'll be able to reduce the risk of the individual getting heart disease, which is absolutely fabulous. So how does garlic come into play with this? Well, there we go. Garlic supplements have shown a promising effect in the treatment of uncontrollable hypertension, lowering blood pressure by about 10 in a systolic and 8 in a diastolic, which is huge, similar to blood pressure medication. That is huge. So garlic has been proven to be similar to blood pressure medication in regards to how it drops the blood pressure. So it's all thanks to the aged garlic extract, which contains S-allicin as a bioactive sulfur compound. In particular, it's standardized and highly tolerated, and little or no known harmful interactions when taken with other blood pressure reducing or blood thinning medication. That is huge. So that is absolutely amazing to hear, and it's huge. It's scientific evidence from what we can see here. Another one that I wanted to point out about is metabolic syndrome. What is metabolic syndrome? So metabolic syndrome consists of a group of risk factors categorized by abnormal obesity, hypertension, atherosclerosis, dyslipidemia, hypoglycemia, and also other pro-inflammatory conditions. So that can be falling under a metabolic syndrome. So what happened is, in this study, they took a total of 40 metabolic syndrome patients who were randomly selected from the diabetic center in a medical college in India. They underwent treatment with 100 milligrams per kilo body weight raw crushed garlic twice a day with a standard diet for about 4 weeks. So the raw crushed garlic significantly reduced components of metabolic syndrome, including waist circumference, systolic and diastolic blood pressure, triglycerides, fasting blood glucose, and significantly increased serum high density lipoprotein cholesterol. That is huge. So this is how you can incorporate garlic in your everyday to assist with metabolic syndrome, which is what a lot of people are dealing with at the moment. Another one is antibiotics. Oh my gosh, like there's so many individuals that are taking so many antibiotics unnecessary. So diallyl sulfide, a compound in garlic, was 100 times, that's right, 100 times more effective than two popular antibiotics in fighting the Campylobacterium, according to a study published in a journal of antimicrobial chemotherapy. So this bacterium, the Campylobacterium, is one of the world's most common causes of intestinal infections, right? So that is huge. So if it's 100 times more effective than the popular antibiotics used to treat these, and garlic is natural with little known side effects, wow, and you can see why. Now you can see why Hippocrates said to use it for the gut, right? So another one is the common cold, which everyone gets at least once a year. So what they did is they looked at about 146 volunteers were randomized to receive a placebo, so they either receive a placebo or an alkaline-containing garlic supplement. 1 capsule daily over 12-week period between November and February. They mentioned November and February because I believe this was done in the northern hemisphere because that's when it's flu season, right? So over 3 months, they were taking the garlic supplement, 1 capsule a day. So the active treatment group had significantly fewer colds than the placebo group. The placebo group, in contrast, recorded significantly more days challenged virally and had a significantly longer duration of symptoms. Consequently, volunteers in the active group were less likely to get a cold and recover faster if infected. Volunteers taking placebo were much more likely to get more than 1 cold over the treatment period. So this garlic containing supplement can prevent attack of the common cold virus. And we can also see that if you do get it, it also shortens the time, the duration of having the virus. Another one which is also interesting, and so many individuals, unfortunately, it hurts me to say this, unfortunately have Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is one of the most common forms of dementia in the elderly. So Alzheimer's disease patients, so this is the theory around it. It's also a little bit controversial. There's so many things that can be said about it. But the theory around it is that Alzheimer's patients have a beta amyloid peptide plaques and neurofibrillatory tangles are among the common observers in the central nervous system. So these beta amyloid deposits results in the production of reactive oxygen species, leading to hyperphosphorylation of tau that are associated with neural damage. So that's kind of what happens. This is important to know for the next part. So recent findings suggest that aged garlic extract may be a therapeutic agent for Alzheimer's disease because of its antioxidant effect and the reduction of the beta plaques that were getting built, right? In summary, the findings indicate that the garlic extract treatment protects neural cells from reactive oxygen species damage and preserve the level of presynaptic proteins that define presynaptic terminal structure in addition to other mechanisms. So also previous studies have demonstrated that this garlic extract supplement can be beneficial in minimizing cardiovascular and diabetes risk factors, which also contribute to Alzheimer's disease. So we can see how it works in 3 different ways to help with Alzheimer's disease. It helps, actually 4. It helps with the plaques, the antioxidant effect, the reduction of the cardiovascular risk, and diabetes risk, which are all part of Alzheimer's disease. That is huge, right? So now that we looked at how garlic helps with today's diseases and how it can assist with, you can kind of think about it and be like, well, it kind of makes sense with everything that I said earlier about how garlic was used traditionally. It was used for flus, for the common cold, for the plague, for respiratory issues. It was used for heart issues. It was used for gut health, for energy, for parasites, worms, and so forth. You can see now how that interlinks with metabolic disease, blood pressure, high blood pressure, heart disease, Alzheimer's, and so forth. You can see how that interlinks, and also being antibacterial. Absolutely amazing. But the question that you've been waiting for is how to incorporate garlic in your life for optimal health? Well, what I want to say first of all is please talk to your healthcare professional, because it is key to understand if you're on any medication, because some medication changed and broken down by the liver can be affected by garlic, because garlic might increase how quickly the liver breaks down some of the medication. So taking garlic alongside with some medication that are broken down by the liver can decrease its effectiveness of some medication. So what I'm saying here is you need to talk to your healthcare professional to understand what medication you're on and how garlic is going to affect that medication. Is it going to speed it up or is it going to slow it down, to know how much you're going to take? This is why it's key to work with a healthcare professional when you're adding anything into your diet, adding anything into your lifestyle, especially when we're talking about supplements, medications, and herbs, right? Also, some birth control pills contains estrogen, and the breakdown of estrogen in birth control pills to get rid of it, right? So the body breaks down estrogen to get rid of it. The garlic might increase the breakdown of estrogen, which is very interesting. The taking garlic along with the birth control pill might decrease its effectiveness of birth control pills. So there might be some garlic babies out there. Who knows? I never even thought about that. Imagine being a garlic baby because you were on a birth control, you had some garlic, and then there was a baby. That's very interesting. So what I'm trying to say is please talk to a healthcare professional before you take on anything new in your diet. However, if you're not on any medication and you wish to have garlic in your diet, also talk to a healthcare professional. But if you wish to take garlic, the best way to take it is crush it, right? Crush it before you take it, because by crushing it and then like chopping it, you are releasing the enzyme Alnase enzyme, which is present in garlic, and it's activated and acts on allicin present in indirect garlic to produce allicin, and that is the most profound compound in garlic, which has the effects on our body. But don't stop cooking with garlic. If your religion allows you, if your culture allows you to have garlic in your life, please keep it up. It's so beautiful. It makes the food absolutely amazing, and you have those beneficial of those health benefits. So garlic is a powerful medicine which has been used for centuries, and it cannot be underestimated for its health effects on our bodies today. There you have it, all about garlic, the history, how it helps us now, scientifically evidenced, and how you can include it in your everyday life for optimal health. Thank you so much. Do what you do best. Like, love, share this podcast with someone that is a garlic lover. And you know what? They're going to love you for it, and they're going to love garlic even more. Thank you so much. Until next Monday, love you.